all felt pretty damn good when it was 7-7.
Yeah, fuck it. We can wait as long as we want. They're still not going to have won a game.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Rob here with Mike and Joe. This is the Hogs, Hops, and Hope podcast. Hot takes, cold beer, zero credentials. Well, guys, I would say the shit is hitting the fan. Our Washington Commanders dropped another turd and lost Monday night to Kansas City 28-7. And it's right before we start this, that's the talk is, do we really got to talk about this? Yeah, let's talk about it.
Sure, though.
But how people say, how do you do this podcast when your team is not playing well and they're on a 3-game losing streak? How do you manage to get down in front of the camera again, sync up with everybody, and talk about this team? Well, that's the hops part of the show. So, Joe, why don't you start us off tonight? What are we drinking tonight?
I went with the old reliable Miller Lite.
All right. Well, at least it doesn't have another team's logo on the can.
Not this time. That team's way worse. Well, maybe they're not that much worse, actually.
That's a coin flip at this point. Mike, what you got?
So I don't have the can in front of me. I'm drinking Guinness. Don't worry, you'll pop. Cannon. Yep, one of my fall go-tos. So yeah, having a Guinness.
Okay, I'm not a huge fan of the Guinness, and I think the only time I really drank it was at a Kegs and Eggs with Elliot in the morning when I got into the VIP section, and it was all you could drink Guinness for free. So I might have had a few, but normally not my beer of choice.
Well, unlike your normal beers, this one's very low alcohol. So,
well, my normal beers aren't normally that high, except for the normal beers that I drink on this show, because, well, I need it to get through this show. So tonight I'm drinking a Mongo Double IPA from the Pizza Port Brewing Company in Carlsbad, California. I've drinking some of their beers before, but not this particular one. And this is 8.0 alcohol for those keeping score at home. And it is a 19-ounce can, so we should have a good time.
We'll do it.
Oh, God. We already went off, so I can tell.
So, 28-7. Now, of course, Washington gets off to its standard Dan Quinn quick start. That's one thing that Dan Quinn has been talking about. We need to start quicker. Well, it took them quite some time before they decided to score. Actually, it took them into the second quarter before they decided they wanted to score. But it was 7-7 at halftime, and you're thinking to yourself, I know you guys were thinking this, 7-7 at halftime in Kansas City. We've already intercepted Patrick Mahomes twice. We got a shot, right?
I mean, how could you not think that?
Yeah. You go into halftime, you're like, we've got ourselves a game here. And, I don't think I didn't think we'd be tied with them at halftime. So I was very optimistic, like Joe level optimistic.
Well, we shouldn't confuse that because as of late, Joe's been Rob level pessimistic. So
old school Joe level.
Remember, Joe's the one who didn't even want to wear a jersey last week and wore all black to more than the team. So
yeah, you're right.
Because we actually recorded last week.
Yeah, that's right. I got back on the bandwagon. I'm wearing my gear.
Well, look, there's definitely some positives from this game. We just mentioned, first of all, 7-7 at halftime. That's pretty good, right? There was a Marshawn Lattimore spotting. He had an interception.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that shocked every Washington fan, that the fact that happened. The fact that they intercepted Patrick Mahomes on the first 2 Kansas City drives, I don't think that's ever happened to Mahomes in his career. to have interceptions on the first 2 drives of the game. After that, though, I mean, there's a couple things. We'll talk about Terry. He had some good plays, but Washington got 2 interceptions on Kansas City's first 2 drives and ended up with 0 points off of them.
Yep.
And Dan Quinn had said he wanted to be aggressive, so they decided to just like, okay, 4th down, we're just going to go for it. Now, it didn't help that Matt Gay, their kicker, was out, and they signed some guy off the street. I don't even know his name. Don't care. Because he's no longer
already, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they probably cut. Matthew Wright was his name.
Yeah.
10-year veteran.
To be fair, he didn't miss any field goals.
This is true. And tell us the rest of that.
He didn't attempt any.
There you go. Thank you very much. They went for it on 4th down a couple times when they could have kicked a field goal and gotten some points and didn't convert. And you know, it's Riverboat Ron all over again, right? I mean, hey, let's go for it on 4th down. It worked last year, but last year was last year, and this year is this year, and nothing's going the way that last year did. So why are we doing that? Why aren't we taking points? So, yeah, go ahead. What are you about to say? Something?
Yeah, no, why aren't we taking points?
I mean, I realize we're playing Kansas City, and they have an explosive offense, or can have an explosive offense. They didn't have an explosive offense in the first half because they only had 7 points. But you know, once again, Jaden Daniels was out. We had Marcus Mariota at quarterback, 21 of 30 for 213, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. No bueno. The team, do you guys remember way back when the team used to rush for 200 yards in a game? Remember the good old days when that happened?
No, I don't remember that.
I actually don't.
Who was running back then?
The same guys they got now. They had 60 yards rushing on 20 carries.
And 60 yards, 28 of which were Marcus Mariota. So,
yes,
not the best way to get rushing yards. Just saying.
But at least it didn't all come in one bunch, because the longest rush they had all game was 8 yards.
From who again?
Marcus Mariota.
That's
so Terry was back. Terry and Debo were back, right? And you're thinking to yourself, even with a backup quarterback, we got our star receivers back in Terry and Debo. Noah Brown's on IR, so he's not coming back. So Debo Samuel had 1 rush for 1 yard. He caught 3 passes for 11 yards, 6 of which came on 1 reception. So that's not very good. I don't need to be a math major to know that's not very good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then here's the little bit of good news we had. Terry was back. Terry caught 3 passes for 54 yards and the lone touchdown.
Yeah.
And it was a magical toe tapping touchdown.
A magical toe tapping touchdown.
He had another great reception down the sideline.
Yeah.
Where he looked like, toe tapping again. And it's like, can he catch the ball in the middle of the field? Does he always have to be like running
where
out
he
of
can run?
Barely yeah. But that's okay. He's healthy. He's ready to go for the next game, right?
I didn't think we were going there yet.
Neither did I, but who cares?
Can I just point out one thing before we go there?
Point out whatever you want.
With all those great numbers you just threw up there, Terry was not our top receiver on the night. Yes, he had the touchdown, but receptions, yards, wasn't him.
And who was, Mike?
was McNichols.
Yeah.
Hey,
5 receptions, 64 yards. Not much better, and he had 5 on 6 targets. Terry had 3 on 4 targets. I guess you could say they each
Okay.
missed. So, I mean, I guess I wanted more from Terry when he came back, and maybe that was unrealistic because apparently he's probably not all that healthy.
And we'll cut to the chase. I mean, we'll come back to this. Obviously, Terry's out for next week against Seattle because of an injury. He re-injured his hamstring on one of these amazing catches that Joe was describing.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't look. We can't be too
nothing to
upset,
say.
disappointed because we all said Washington was going to lose to Kansas City, and we all said Washington wouldn't cover the 12.5-point spread. So
Well,
in that
2 of
aspect,
you
the
said that.
team did not disappoint us.
Oh, so our rating for this weekend was met expectations because our expectations were so low. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Take what I can get.
I actually thought they were going to beat the spread, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you're delusional sometimes. You're the
I know.
optimist.
But I did also say that they was going to be the under, and I was right on that.
That's true.
That's true. See?
Okay.
So you got something there.
But and yes, I picked the over, and so did Rob. But it's only because the Chiefs shit the bed the first half, and only got 7
Yes,
points.
they did.
Otherwise, they would have had the over.
And I actually thought Washington would score more than 7 points.
I thought it'd be
Mariota is a fantastic backup, but golly, he tries to do too much. And he's got too little.
Well, he's trying to do too much, but it's funny because if that was Jaden Daniels doing those things, everybody would be like, see, he's making things happen. Even if he didn't make things happen, we would still celebrate him because the catches that the 2 catches that Terry caught that were originally called incomplete, and they had to review them to verify that they were complete, which is completely understandable because they were extremely close plays. All you heard about was how great Terry was. If Jaden had thrown those balls, you would have heard about how great the pass was. So Mariota's in a no-win situation, especially when he's playing with this team because he's not going to win. But
That was actually
Yeah, but
pretty
even if Jaden played like that and put up the numbers that Mariota put up, I would have said the same thing. He's trying too hard to make things happen.
well, that's because you're an intelligent person, Joe, and you're not a true fan who would just say that Jaden Daniels is the single greatest thing to ever happen to this team. But okay, so let's kind of move on from the game itself, and let's talk about a little bit about where the team is, because as we look in the standings, they're still in 3rd place in the NFC East. They're 3-5. Now, depending on who you look at, according to CBS Sports, Washington has an 8.6% chance of making the playoffs. But according to ESPN, they have a 13.2% chance of making the playoffs.
Oh, done deal.
So
They're
if you
in.
combine that, they have like a 22% chance of making the playoffs.
I don't believe that's how statistics work.
And then if we each gave them 20% chance, we'd be up around 80% chance of making the playoffs.
Right.
It's the new math.
That's
So, I mean, but they have Seattle coming up on Sunday night at home. And Seattle is what, 5-2. They're playing good football. This team is really in trouble because after Seattle, we talked about this last week. After Seattle, we have Detroit. And Detroit's 5-2 and playing really well. And I mean, they're going to be coming after us. I mean, I actually predicted this 3-5 record 4 games into the season. I was going back and forth with this guy online, and we were talking about the 4 games they had coming up with Atlanta and the Chargers and the Cowboys and this game against the Chiefs. And he's like, "Oh, the only game I'm worried about losing is the Chiefs game." And I was like, they'll be lucky to be 3-5. Well, they're 3-5. So once again, no credentials rules. With this schedule coming up, I mean, we talked about it. Seattle, then the Lions. Now, granted, both games are at home, but we've already mentioned Terry's out this week against Seattle. And who knows if Debo is actually recovered. Oh, and then by the way, let's talk about the injury report, shall we? Since we're here. So the injury report. Zach Ertz did not practice today. That's a Veterans Day rest. Matt Gay did not practice. Terry McLaurin, we've already said, is out. Johnny Newton, ankle injury, did not practice. Tunsil, who left the game against Kansas City, tried to come back and then left again.
Yeah.
He's dealing with a hamstring issue. That sounds so familiar. Did not practice today. Colson Yankoff, you're like, does he even really play with the team still? Yeah, well, he had limited practice today. Now, Jaden Daniels had a full day of practice. The good news, Javon Kinlaw, full practice today. And Bobby Wagner apparently has a thumb injury. He was full practice today. So when we look ahead to Seattle with no Terry, and I don't see any reason why we can't say maybe no Debo. I don't know. I mean, he didn't show up when he came back this week against Kansas City. It was last week against Kansas City. And while Jaden had a full day of practice today, it's only Wednesday. So what do I don't have to go, we don't have to go into predictions just quite yet for Seattle, but how much trouble are we in
for the season? A lot.
I mean, look, we all said at the beginning of the season, we all said double-digit wins, and we joked about it. But are we going to hit double-digit wins?
I mean, no.
I don't think so.
Not unless there's some miraculous recoveries on all these injuries. Like, the injuries are bad. Like, this is a problem.
Yeah, because they just seem to keep adding up. All right, so that leads to an interesting thing. And we just barely touched on this last week, I think. The trade deadline is next Tuesday, so it's in a week. Now, last year at the trade deadline or leading up to the trade deadline, that's when they traded for Lattimore. And we see how well that's worked out for us. I mean, if you look at a snapshot of this last week, it's worked out great because he had an interception against Patrick Mahomes. So, yay us.
Wow.
So I was looking at an article on ESPN, and they were talking about each team and who they, an area of need for that team and who they might trade for or who they might trade. Now, in this article, they had 3 teams that could potentially be interested, and this is obviously all complete speculation, of 3 different Washington players could be someone that other teams could search out for in a trade. They had the Bears possibly wanting to trade for Lattimore. They had the Browns trading for Ben Sinnott, and the Jets trading for Brandon Coleman. Now, I don't think there's any way Washington at this point is going to trade Brandon Coleman with Tunsil being injured. Right? I mean, it was when Tunsil went out and I saw Brandon Coleman in the game against Kansas City, my initial thought was he was active, which makes me wonder, did Tunsil hurt himself in pregame because he wasn't on any injury reports? Did he hurt himself in pregame to where Washington said, oh, crap, we can't bench our 3rd-round pick from the other year. we actually have to have him active because he may have to play.
I thought I had heard prior to Monday that he was going to be active, though.
Okay,
He wouldn't have been on
I
the.
didn't hear it. I mean, you're maybe right. I didn't hear that, but that doesn't mean
He
anything.
wouldn't have been on the trip, would he? If he's not active.
Not necessarily true.
I thought I saw something, and I might be making this up, and I did have a drink before we started this, so who knows? So fuck it, no credentials, doesn't matter. I thought I had read something that sort of implied that the Coleman thing, he might have been out because there was an injury, but not talking about it, kind of thing, as if he maybe
An
wasn't.
injury. His injury?
Yeah, like maybe he wasn't physically ready to go, and I would go find that source. I have no idea where I got that from. Like I said, I might be making it up. Fever dream. Who knows?
That's interesting because if Washington's doing that and not reporting that on the injury report, they can be fined for that, I believe. Because you have to provide all this stuff so the bettors can make good, honest bets.
But they were making him inactive plenty early. So he was inactive, just maybe it wasn't a healthy inactive thing. Something I read implied that.
Okay. So part of this is they said Washington could trade Noah Igbenoghy, who's one of their corners. And they could target Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson. So my question to the two of you is, and I realize you have to, trading for someone or trading someone away requires a partner. But with the trade deadline coming up, what do you think this team should do? It's basically, are they sellers? Are they buyers? Or are they standing put? Last year, no one would have really expected them to be buyers, but the season started off so well, and Jaden Daniels was exploding, and they thought, oh, we can go all in, and that's part of the reason for trading for Lattimore, even though he was injured and didn't play for a couple weeks, is we can make this happen now. Well, now it's not happening. So what do we think the team might do as far as the trade deadline?
I think they're going to do nothing.
Okay. I mean, I hope that's the case. I certainly don't want them to trade away any draft picks for anybody.
So, well,
No.
they shouldn't be buyers. There's no reason to be buyers. I think I agree with
Right.
Joe. I think they're going to do nothing, but I don't know. Should they? It depends on the deal, right? But if they could pick up some draft picks to get rid of one of somebody who's on a 1-year contract because we know we're not making the playoffs this year.
Right. So in that case, they become sellers.
Yeah.
So would it be fair to say that we all agree that they should not be buyers?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And would it be fair to say, I feel like a lawyer, would it be fair to say that we all agree that it would be okay if they did nothing?
Objection, leading the witness.
Look, I've won every court case I've been involved with, so back off.
I'll stipulate that.
What, that I've won every case?
No, that it'd be okay for them to do nothing.
Okay. And so the last scenario then, do we think it would be okay if they were sellers and if they were trading away some of these people who were on a 1-year contract to maybe pick up, even if it's a low round draft pick, to maybe pick up some draft capital?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know of anyone on the team that's so valuable that it's like, yeah, I don't want to lose him at this point.
Right.
Okay. So,
Like,
so Joe,
that's where I'm at.
That's actually a good question. Well, I'll go to you. Who on this team is untradeable at this point?
Ooh.
I feel good. Oh, obviously Jaden, right?
Yes.
I'm not fully out on Terry yet. So I want to hang on to him.
Okay.
I like what Debo's been doing for us when he's healthy. He's been our whole offense just about. Hang
Okay.
on to Bill. Bill's great.
Okay.
I might be done there.
Okay.
I got 4.
Mike, you wanna amend that in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, I don't know about Ahmed. I don't know. I agree with everything Joe said. I'm not sure I'm as much as untradeable when it comes to Terry and Debo, because for the right deal, maybe. I like Bill. I still like Bill. So he's
Okay.
the one that I think I would rather they did not trade right now. I'd
Okay.
like to see him develop.
Okay. So they're not going to trade Bill because he's a rookie, and he's got a couple years under contract. So that's not going to happen. They're not obviously not going to trade Jaden Daniels because he's the franchise.
Hmm.
Debo could be traded, and if they did trade him, I don't know that I would necessarily have a problem with that. I don't know what they would get for him. I mean, I can't imagine it would be more than a 6th or 7th round draft pick. They're not going to trade Terry, I think, because look, they just signed him, and the cap hit would come into play with that if they were to trade him. So I think that can't happen. Tunsil, they're not going to trade Tunsil. But I don't know, like on defense, I think everybody outside of Amos, I mean, any rookie is not going to be traded because they just got him. I mean, that's the idea. You're trying to build your roster, right? So they're not going to trade Trey Amos, but um, you know, I mean, offensively, I don't think they would trade McCaffrey because he's the only one. I mean, he's had some moments, but um, I don't want to say no one's. They don't have anybody to trade, but uh, I just don't want to see him go negative on draft picks because if you look to 2026 right now, I believe they have 6 draft picks, and they have and I think this is correct. They have a 1st round, a 3rd round, a 5th round, 2 6th rounds, and a 7th round. And while that 1st round and the 3rd round are nice, your 6th and your 7th round draft picks are not necessarily how you're building your roster unless you're building depth. And this team needs starters more than it needs depth because
Yeah.
we're gonna have another roster turnover at the end of the year.
Here's the thing, and we're all talking like the problem with this question is almost who's untradeable. I think almost anyone is tradable, in my opinion, depending on what we get in return. So if
Okay.
there's a buyer out there who is, needs a key piece that we have and gives up way more than they should, I'll say something stupid. Someone offers us a 1st round for Terry. Would you do that deal? Maybe. You guys say he's untradeable, but
Well, I say
a
he's
first
untradeable
and
because of
another
because of
receiver.
the,
Like,
because of the contract. That's why. Because they would take a big hit, a big cap hit on that. I don't know the exact number, but that becomes a problem.
For me, I was
okay.
just calling out some names of people that I would be
Right.
sorry to see go.
I mean,
That's all.
who else would we say? Which I'm with you. I'm just saying, like Bill. I don't want to see Bill go. I want to see how he develops. I like
Sure.
him. But someone comes back and offers a 1st round for Bill, I'd say, yeah, fuck, do that. So that's why I'm like, this is a who's untradeable. There are people who are untradeable until the deal gets too up.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right with that.
I'm always right. I don't know why you keep fighting that, but I'm always right.
Well, I don't know about the always thing.
Like
Uh,
99% of the time, I'm right.
99% of the time you believe you're right. I,
No, no,
I
I
do believe
paused
that.
there. Like 9% of the time, I'm right.
Why don't you have another drink? I was trying to pull up Terry's contract um, to see what the cap hit would be if they were to trade him. So he has a dead money hit of 55 over 55 million. if they were to trade him right now.
All right,
So he's
fine.
not being
Terry's
traded.
fine. Terry's a bad example.
Well, like I said, 99.9% of the time you believe you're right. This is one of those times where you're actually wrong.
No, I said 9% of the time I'm right. 99.9% of the
Right,
time.
9% of the time you're right. All right. So we don't think anything's really going to happen for them at the trade deadline. So that goes into, all right, so then we have to start looking ahead at next week. Like I said, they got Seattle, and Dan Quinn and his infinite wisdom says he is, quote, comfortable with the wide receiver room even with Terry McLaurin out. So my question to the two of you is, and Mike, we'll go to you first. If Terry McLaurin is out and we know Noah Brown is out, how comfortable are you with the wide receiver room right
Well, clearly not as comfortable as Dan Quinn. How the hell are you going to be comfortable? I mean, I can't with that.
Joe, you want to add anything to that uncomfortableness?
I feel like if I was asked that question in front of media and I was a representative of the team and those guys were my guys, I would say yes, I'm very comfortable with them.
You're not. You're actually on a podcast where you're supposed to criticize the dumb shit they say. So
I'm just, yeah.
It's not like anybody's watching, Joe. I mean, who are you trying to impress here?
Jeez, yeah. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What else could he say though? Is he really going to say no? We're dog shit. That would be pretty funny though.
I guess
Well, I
the
mean,
most optimistic I can get is when all of our receivers are hurt, maybe McNichols, McCaffrey, or even Lane, one of them will step up and fill the gap. But I'm not confident in that. So anyway, sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
I'm with you. I mean, this is the whole thing. We were told last year that the drafting of McCaffrey and Sinnott were great trades or great draft picks, and that obviously you can't expect too much from a mid or lower level pick as a rookie, and that's understandable. But those two guys are in their second season, and while McCaffrey's doing well on kick returns and the such, which is great to see, he's trying to give them a chance. I mean, this week against Kansas City, what do you have? He had one kick return for 37 yards, which is fine. I mean, you'll take that, right? But and he's caught a couple touchdowns this year, and he had 3 catches for only 24 yards, and 17 came on 1 reception. He's got to step up. If Terry's out, he has to, and Noah's out. We keep kind of skipping over that, but this is when these guys are supposed. Sinnott should be stepping up, and McCaffrey should be stepping up, and Lane should be saying, I have an opportunity to step up. I don't expect him to step up because he's a rookie, but he should be definitely thinking, I have the opportunity to step up. And he's not. Now, part of it is package. I mean, I don't know how many tight ends we can throw on the field at the same time. And Zach Ertz is still the number 1 tight end on the team. And congratulations.
He did a great job catching, though.
What's that? Who?
It was Ertz. He had a couple of bad.
Ertz,
they were bad throws.
Ertz had 4 catches for 16 yards on 6 targets, but he did have his 800th career reception, which I think he makes him the 5th tight end in NFL history to hit 800 receptions. Now, the team doesn't get any bonus points for that, so I really don't care, and I'm happy for him, but it doesn't really mean anything.
Wasn't that also the same game that Kelsey set some record for tight ends also for the amount of touchdowns he's gotten?
Kelsey tied the Kansas City Chiefs all-time touchdown record. He's tied with
Okay.
Priest Holmes now for most touchdowns in franchise history. So yes. So all right. So we're not confident about the team. We're not confident about the receiver room with Terry being out. We know he's going to be out for another game, at least one more game against Seattle. But who knows if he's, maybe he's going to miss Detroit as well. And I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I guess we're to the Seattle game now. It's at home. It's Sunday night. National audience. Hey, another national game for this team to shine, baby.
How thrilled is the NFL at giving us all these national games?
So I have some questions for you in regards to it. First of all, and I realize it's Wednesday and we don't have all the information available, other than the fact that Jaden Daniels did practice today. My question to you is, do we think Jaden's actually going to play Sunday night?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
I mean,
I have no idea.
And are we back to the thing where if he's not 100% healthy, then there's no way in hell he should be playing?
I am. Yeah. I feel like this season's already kind of not in a good place. If he's not 100%, do not risk the future. He should not play.
Didn't Stephen A come out and say that too?
Yeah.
Talking about
he
basically benching.
He actually talked about benching him for the season.
Yeah, keeping him in.
Wow. I missed that because I don't pay attention to him, but wow.
Yeah, I saw it today. Basically, yeah, he was like his is based on the premise that we're not making the playoffs. The season's over. So protect your future, protect your franchise, and yeah, sit him for the rest of the season, I think.
But we talked a little bit about this in general last week since we all said that Washington was going to lose to Kansas City, and that puts us at 3-5. So obviously we're not going 12-5 this year because I don't think any of us believes they're going to win the last 9 games of the season. But
you never know.
Right. I mean, hey, with RG3, they won the last 7 games of the season and made the playoffs. If this team is not going to make the playoffs, again, is this where they should be trying to play some of these younger players that they have from the last 2 drafts and see exactly what they might have and get them some playing time so they can start to develop, and maybe we don't have to sign 20 players again next season on 1-year deals to fill holes for yet another season? Are we at that point yet? I mean, you guys are both nodding yes, but are we actually at that point, or are you willing to give it another week or two and say maybe there's a shot we could still make the playoffs and that's worth it?
A week or two being Seattle and Detroit, I don't know. I feel like we're very close to that point of, yeah, I do want to see these young guys, give them a chance. Now, I disagree with Stephen A. Smith. I'm not sure we pulled Jaden. And I don't agree with benching him because we want these younger guys to develop, then develop with Jaden, who is supposed to be the future of this franchise.
Right. Right. No, I agree with you there. I don't think they should bench him for the season.
And if Jaden is struggling with like man-to-man coverage for the defense, then he absolutely needs to be out there more, because that's probably what the defensive coordinators are going to throw against him, because that's where he's struggling. So give him as much time as he can with that.
Well, and he is struggling with that. That the numbers even show that. That he has issues with that.
But I do agree. Let's play the young guys. What do we have left to lose?
Okay, so that bleeds us into. So I look at the line, and the game's in Washington, so that gives Washington 3 points, because when you have a home game, you automatically get 3 points. But Washington, or I'll say Seattle, is favored by 3.5 points. So in our typical way, how confident are we that they can, if at all, that they can beat Seattle? And look, I'll go first this time. They're not beating Seattle. I mean, I don't see that happening. I don't see a road for that. I hope to God I'm wrong, but I don't know. I mean, Mike, you're shaking your head a little bit. What do you think? Do they have a shot at beating Seattle?
No, I'm with 100% with you. I hope I'm wrong, but no, I don't think they can beat Seattle. I'm almost willing to call Detroit too right now, but I'll save that for next week when I tell you they can't beat Detroit. No, they're not. No, I'm with you.
Okay, Joe.
No, I don't think so. I
Okay,
don't think so.
let me. This is something that I've battled with over the last couple of years with this team, and I realize different owner, different coach, different GM. I understand that, but I don't think it's a secret, or I haven't tried to make it a secret that I'm not high on Dan Quinn as a coach, and I'm not sold on Adam Peters as a GM just quite yet. Now, granted, he's only had 2 years, so I mean it's still early. I hate to say this. Is it better if they tank? I mean, we see this in the NBA all the time. Teams tank. I mean, the difference is the NBA is teams will basically announce that before a season even starts. Oh, we're tanking this year. Our plan is to finish with the worst record in the league. We don't care. Anybody knows it. Washington's 3-5. They're not out of the playoffs. They could still make the playoffs, even if they lost to Seattle and Detroit, which I know we're not at the Detroit game yet, but Mike, I'm with you. I'm 99% certain I'm going to call them to lose against Detroit. But then they have Miami after that, but we still have a tough schedule. I don't want to say that they should try and lose games, but would they be better? Like maybe they should have a fire sale at the trade deadline
I was about to say that.
and just
I
get
was about
whatever
to say
picks
maybe
they
we
can
need to.
get.
Yep. Unload as many 1-year deals of our 1-year guys and pick up a 6th rounder, pick up a 7th rounder. Get young guys. Let's not be the oldest team in the NFL.
Okay.
We have so many holes to fill. We thought
Here's the thing. I'm still standing by. Yes, fire sale if it makes sense. Don't not well, I wouldn't even say fire sale. Trade guys if we get something, probably if we get a better end of that deal, do it. Um, I think I don't think you tank the season, but I agree with what Joe was saying. Like play the young guys. And you play them not to tank the season, but to give them the playing time to let them do it, knowing that yeah, we may lose more games than we could otherwise.
Well, I said that as well. So,
Okay. As Joe and Rob said, hold on, pause so you can cut this in. As Joe and Rob said, play the young guys. You have to splice it.
I only cut in the stuff from before the show and after the show. That's the stuff I throw in that I splice in after the fact. All the stuff that's in the show, it's already in the show. All right. So none of us think they're going to beat Seattle.
Correct.
nope.
Okay. We won't worry about the Detroit game yet because we can only lose one game at a time.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
So
we try to lose 2 at a time.
Well, I mean, anything worth doing is worth doing right or something.
Spread's only 3 points.
3.5.
Wow.
Joe, give Rob credit. He said that a few minutes ago. He's very, focused on getting credit for the things he says.
He said the spread was 3.5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
What I'm gathering.
Oh, but you guys were certainly paying attention when I didn't record the show. And this is why the show works.
Actually, to be fair, we weren't paying attention that you weren't recording. Otherwise, we would have told you. So
Fair enough.
we blame you, but we own like 1% of that.
All right. So
Point one.
point one. Look, we get Mike back for 2 weeks in a row, and the show still goes off the tracks.
Come on, Mike, reel it in. Let's
Yeah,
go.
we're gonna wrap this shit up. Like, do you see how much beer I have left? That's how much time you have left in this show.
This is how much time we have left. I have this much. So, all right. So to wrap it up, Washington loses to Kansas City, which we all predicted. So we're not surprised by that. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but it happened. We don't think they're going to beat Seattle, which is going to put this team at 3-6 on the season. I don't think anybody would have predicted this team would have been 3-6 at that point. At this point, well, I don't think anybody would have predicted this team would be 3-5 at this point in the season. Quite honestly, but injuries happen, and I'm not blaming everything on injuries because it's definitely more than injuries. This team is in serious trouble though, because if they lose, or should I say, when they lose to Seattle, they're going to be 3-6, and they still have a tough schedule in front of them. We haven't even played Philly yet. And Philly is still playing good ball. And we got to play Dallas again. So, God help us for this team, because I don't know what's going to happen with them. I guess time will tell. But another primetime game for this team. Let's just show the country what we're all about, whatever that is. Because you think about it. We got a Monday night game against the Chiefs. That's a national game. Then we're going to have a Sunday night game against the Seahawks. That's a national game. Now, I don't know that the game against the Lions is going to be a national game at this point. But then we're going to have the Dolphins in Madrid. That's a national game, obviously. So everyone's going to get to see what this team is all about or what they're not about. Anything you guys want to throw in, add on anything we've talked about or anything we've missed?
No.
Nope. I think we covered it all.
All right. Well, then I guess that's time to finish what's left in the glass and call it a show. So thanks as always for watching and subscribing and clicking like. And for those that leave comments, we do appreciate that. And we'll do it all again next week when we talk about the loss to Seattle, I suppose. So until then, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
See ya. My mommy says I'm special.